Hi, everybody. I am going to fulfill a promise that I made to somebody who is actually in Minneapolis and has collected a ton of information from other on the ground organizers about what's actually happening there by reading this dispatch that I wrote for them. This is also in my Substack in the event that you do want to read it directly, but I will just read it for you in case you don't. So here we go. Okay. This is directly from somebody who is actually a community organizer in Minneapolis and works with a lot of different groups, it sounds like, from the things that they've passed to me. They've also verified themselves directly to me, so I know this is a real person who's like actually on the ground, actually doing these things. So here we go. On January 6, 2026, this is the day before Renee Good was killed, federal agents were already using their cars in a means to intentionally hit or intimidate protesters. And then today, on January 11th, there was a community member who was close to my source who wrote this. While they spent 7 hours just like chasing ICE away from people who were in the Hilltop and Columbia Heights neighborhood of Minneapolis. The agents admitted out loud they had no active investigations. They were just picking people off the street. The vehicles were not local. These were out-of-state mercenaries who could not prove they were any kind of government workers at all. They tried to grab a kid from Valley View Elementary, a child. Citizens chased them away. The kid hid underneath a boat. 4 agents also tried to snatch a man from the doorway of a laundromat, slammed him against the glass, demanded ID. When he proved he was a permanent resident, they just walked away and moved on to the next target. A man was taken from his car at 43rd and Jackson. All anyone could do was watch. The source himself, the person who's relaying this information, also relayed they were assaulted twice. They swung at his hand, knocked his phone to the ground, and pepper sprayed him. They threatened his wife. A blue Charger from California swerved at him like it was going to hit him. A Virginia car also pretended like it was going to run him over and then pepper sprayed him. A cop sat parked nearby and watched the whole thing. When somebody asked why the cop didn't intervene, the cop just drove away. At the laundromat, 30 people surrounded agents to prevent them from taking a man, and it worked. The source said if we had not been there, I 100% believe they would have kidnapped him. I spent much of today specifically targeting visibly Muslim, Somali, and East African women. A friend of my source, hijab-wearing African-American woman, was pulled over and temporarily detained for no stated reason. During door-to-door operations today in Uptown, they arrested an entire Somali family. In Elk River, which isn't even a suburb, it's like quite outside the city from what I know, they took the entire staff of a Chinese restaurant, didn't check documentation, just took them. They're also taking people from hospitals now. Today, on January 11th, 2026, ICE agents have entered multiple medical facilities in the Twin Cities and removed patients, some of them who are extremely sick, while doctors beg them to stop. An immigration attorney tried to document one of these raids, and she was in the lobby, and ICE told her if she didn't leave, she would be arrested for obstruction. They're also going after journalists. I think we all know that. The day before Renee Good was killed, on January 6th, Chris June, a local photojournalist, had his car surrounded by 3 ICE agents. He showed them his press credentials. They didn't care, and they just took photos of him. And then King Demetrius Pendleton, who's an independent journalist, was at the Whipple Federal Building on January 9th, 2026. He was wearing a black vest that said press. He was holding cameras. He was live streaming. He was following ICE directives, backing up when told, and an agent shot him in the foot with a canister round, and he had to go to the ER because they injured his foot so badly. He has between 4 and 6 weeks to heal. And also, it should be known that like ICE is openly letting like counter protesters just stand directly beside the federal agents while they like do this shit. One of them, a guy named Jake Lang, who is literally a January 6th rioter, was there just like antagonizing people. Also, Nick Sorter, who is a right-wing influencer, just fucking hit a woman today in the face during a protest. And ICE, of course, just like stands there. Yeah, this is January 2026. This is Minneapolis. This is what's happening while like cable news debates whether or not Renee Good's shooting was justified. My source asked me to tell all of you one more thing. It is so much worse than people realize. There's so much going on that it's like, oh, okay, another person had their bones broken by ICE. And they're still out there documenting, organizing, getting gassed. And so the least I can do is make sure that you know. If you want to support independent journalists covering Minneapolis, Chris June's PayPal is paypal.me/Chris June. That's CHRISJUHN. And King Demetrius Pendleton can be found on Facebook asking for support for medical bills after being shot by ICE while wearing a press vest. So please spread the word. And if you happen to be on the ground and you want me to understand more what's going on, DMs are open.